It's that time for the Sharks versus the Ferns. Kidding. Can't really say that because it's actually Sprout versus Vega Squadron. Either way, welcome back to Star Series Season 6. It's time for us to begin our conversation about these two teams who have netted themselves an 0-1 setting coming into this stage of the Swiss system. And now, to do that, of course, will be one Dane and one pseudo-Australian who's not really Australian anymore.
He's German.
Yeah.
I'm an Australian with a British passport who lives in who's a German resident.
You sound like a culturally confused individual.
I am confused about what day it is, what time it is, and who's going to win this matchup because it's a bit of a weird one.
It is a bit of a weird one. What do we know about Vega and at least Sprout? Let's start talking about Vega first.
I mean, we know they played well in the major. We know they showed a level we hadn't seen from them in quite some time. It seems like a reoccurring trend with the Vega Squadron guys that they show up for the majors and then go completely missing for the rest of the year. So whether that's the case here, we're going to figure out. They did look pretty well yesterday as well. Had a decent game, so they can still play Counter-Strike to a decent level. But whatever they're going to be able to do more than just winning against Sprout and actually progressing into deep to this tournament, I doubt it. I doubt it.
Well, the thing, this is the line I like to use with this roster on the screen right here is chaos is a pattern we just don't understand yet. And the way that Vega play Counter-Strike is very sporadic. I don't want to give them the random tagline or anything along those lines, but they are very aggressive in their approach. Now, if we're starting from the left of the screen, you have Chopper there, who at the major anyway was quite the star player. Hachi, JR, the in-game leader, and Orpa. Crush, one of the more recent additions with Tony Black, aka Kabakan. If you remember his days with Na'Vi, you have to really think back 3 or 4 years ago. Something to consider is this team, when we saw them at the major last time, not the FACEIT major, they had Mia and Kashanda. Both of those players are no longer with them. Mia has actually moved to Gambit, who is also in this tournament. But those just a quick little synopsis, and we're talking about their playstyle. It is aggressive. It is very playmakery. It is very in your face.
You know, Chad, we noted that the Hellraisers might be considered like the home team, but to me, this is really the home team here for at least this region, perhaps even Star Series, because these guys do hail from this area. We've got Ukrainians, we do have Russians. This is your home team.
This is our home team.
I think they have to be like pound for pound, but there might be more support for like an Angel or even an LMBT of the world from Mouse Sports and Hellraisers.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, there's a lot of different nationalities spread on the lineups, but I do feel the Vega Squadron definitely are one of the home favorites. Look towards the win stats right here. Having won 14% of their Inferno games is
that's
definitely
pretty bad.
not a great statistic. Winning 0% of their Dust 2s in cash. It's a very small sample size, obviously, because we didn't see them play prior to the major, so you can't really count anything out from this. But what we know from Vega Squadron is that they play a decent train, is that Chopper is the star player of this team, and if he doesn't step up, and if JR doesn't have a good game with the AVP, there's no way they're going to win against anyone.
Well, Tony Black had a really good game yesterday, which I thought was surprising as I was watching it unfold. But I think, you know, there's a weird contrast when you look at this Sprout roster, who a lot of people will be saying, Chad, what's going on with Sprout? Who are they? Well, they used to be known as Seed before they became Sprout. Isn't that funny?
Weird how that works, isn't it, Chad?
And they're German. And they are also the ESL Meisterschaft champions.
The Masterschaft.
No, Meisterschaft.
Mastershaft.
Meisterschaft.
Like the big shaft.
Nein, das ist nicht gut, Junge.
There we go.
Nie sprechen Sie Deutsch.
Mein Deutsch ist scheiße.
Nie schussen?
Anyway, now we got Sprout on screen. We can kind of talk through the players in this team. They've recently made a roster change. They've brought in Faven in replacement of Cycron. And Cycron was one of the buddies from the Danish region.
He was the in-game leader, yeah?
I think the in-game leader... Yes,
Cyclone
you're right. You're right. It was. So I'm curious to see who will be doing it now. Obviously, they have Nada Safix and Percy, who are both Danish.
From the look at it yesterday, it seemed like Percy was the in-game leader, which is quite surprising to me because he's not necessarily a guy that I would identify as an in-game leader, nor as a leader at all.
What would you identify him as?
A player.
Okay, just a fragger.
Just
not even a
fragger.
Not even a fragger.
Not even a fragger. He's just a decent player who's been around forever. He's never really just a dude, just a trace kind of type of guy.
Okay, yeah.
You know, he's just around. You don't really like him, but he's there anyway. It's one of those scenarios where this team is. We often talk about leftovers, you know, and you can say that about this team as well. You have Dennis, you have Speedy, who is leftovers from the German scene. You have Neto Safix, who's a guy, a very community-like guy, who's trying to make his own way within the Counter-Strike scene. Percy is definitely a leftover within the Danish scene, has never really broken through, and now this new guy, Faven. So it has a little bit of mixture of different things on this team, and it just seems to me like, I often like to refer to it as when you have a leftover team, either you have the star leftovers, who is actually able to do it on their own and make a good appearance for themselves and make sure to show the world that had I gotten a certain role on my former team, I would have been the star. And you have the leftovers who are just decent and who are just doing by. And I feel like this Sprout team is just a team that is doing by. They're doing decently, but they're not going to be winning any big games anywhere.
You're saying that they're kind of like the leftover of the leftovers.
That's a phrase you could use, yeah.
I was just kind of trying to...
That sucks a bit. I actually think, you know, Dennis has been coming more into his own in recent times. He does have a chance. Obviously, he played for Mousesports some time ago when we did have a primarily German roster. God B was in there. They had Nico in the team as well. Yes, the Nico of FaZe Clan. Things have changed a lot since that time, and Dennis has had to battle back through quite a few different iterations. But I think he feels at home playing with Spitty on his team. But this roster, since the addition of Faven, have only played 17 matches together, 6 of which are victories. Now, before this video comes up, Trace, just quickly, both of these teams both have found success on Mirage and Train. So if it goes to Train, I think that Sprout will be very happy.
And yes, you are absolutely right, Chad. This is the best of one. The vetoes are going to be crucial, at least to both of these teams. And, well, it'll be interesting to see where we end up playing. We've seen a lot of Inferno so far this tournament, as is with every tournament, it seems like.
Don't think we'll get Inferno considering that loss percentage, or that win percentage, sorry, of Vega. I guess if you converted it to a loss percentage, that would be even harsher.
86, right?
Yeah, that's not a fun number that anyone wants to play with. I think it will probably be Train. Vega here will get the last ban. Oh, Train's gone. I thought Sprout would be happy. They had a very close game yesterday against Mousesports.
But they had a horrible showing on the T side, and I think that's what they're afraid of.
Yeah, I guess you do need that depth. And Vega with their scrimmy plays, being able to pull magic. This is the one thing that I hate. This is the one thing that really upsets me, is you shouldn't give Mirage to the CIS teams.
Nope.
Because of how scrimmy it can be. And we saw at the Major all the plays that they were making, people just pushing out randomly. One guy attacking B apps while another guy is attacking A apps, and then 3-man core ready to, you know, go wherever the frag comes in. This is something you can't account for. You definitely can't counter-strat that, and you need all of your players to be on point and focused from the get-go.
But you can look at the overall wins there on Mirage from Vega Squadron. We got the likes of Spirit, North, and Cloud9. I don't know if that's saying a whole lot, considering when these wins probably went down.
Well, this would have been throughout the Major process, right? So the Avant-Garde one, I believe, was online results.
Yep.
I forget the name of the event. I think I actually watched a bit of that.
Was that an online cup or something?
Yeah, I think I watched a bit of that game. I'm not actually 100% certain. But I think this is a mistake from Sprout. They're going to be a lot more structured, a lot more strategical.
And strategic, like the forecast from the betting partners of StarSeries, Loot Bet. You can use promo code SLTV. And if you're a Jacob Pimp Vinicky, perhaps you could do the same over there. You got anything you want to add to the Loot Bet odds there?
No, I would just do it, Trace. I would just do it straight away and get the money rolling.
Yeah.
So out of those matches that Sprout have played on Mirage, they've played it 6 times out of their 17 games. This is with Faven in the roster. Just a couple of things to note, maybe the casters can take these on board, is that out of those 12 pistol rounds, they've won 8, but they've only won 50% of their games. So the pistol rounds they're quite good at, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to see them being able to convert off of those, because their victories have only been against Smoke Criminals, Kingwin, and Red Reserve. And no offense to those teams, they're not hard hitters. I wouldn't put them on the same page as a Vega Squadron. They lost to Virtus Pro recently and a team called Sharks. So, yeah, they're about to verse Sharks again.
So the Sharks, we had Shark on Shark violence is what you're saying.
No, well, we had Shark on Plant, and now we're having Shark on Plant again, but different Sharks.
You know, I like to think it's some sort of like pre-Jurassic period that perhaps plants and sharks were battling it out.
I think they probably could have been.
Could have been, yeah.
Have you seen those giant, like, that they eat, that they're... It's basically, I'm thinking about a thing from Mario. You know those things with the massive red head from Mario? The plant that comes up out of it? Yeah. That's what I think plants would have been like in the Jurassic time.
Like a giant Venus flytrap.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh. I guess you could be onto something there. Not to be confused with the Vega Squadron, who are just sharks.
I could do a movie tie-in with Vega Squadron. Do you want one of them?
Yeah, let's see.
So, like, the movie tie-in could be like, I think maybe you've all seen the... Oh, you definitely haven't, Jacob. Have you seen the movie Waterworld? With Kevin Costner?
Yeah, it's a long time ago, but yeah, another.
That's a great film. Okay, so he has the plant on the boat.
Right.
Now, basically, Waterworld is there's no land, Jacob.
Okay.
They have to build like pontoons. And the main character is a guy who is evolved with gills. And he can like swim to the bottom of the ocean and stuff and get these really cool things that no one else can get. Anyway, he has a plant on his boat. And the story is basically about a little girl who has a tattoo on her back about a map. But the point is, ocean and sharks, plants on boats.
And boats and hose, I think, is where we can end that conversation. Either way, it does look like the knife round has concluded, where in which perhaps we can get into some predictions here real quick. But favorable on this map would be starting what side?
Doesn't matter. If I were Vega Squadron, I would go with the CT side and just show them no respect. Just play those screamer plays, go aggressive, and be annoying in the mid control phase. I think that's what's going to be the most annoying part for Sprout in this game, is the fact that mid control is going to be so vital for them, and they're not going to get any of it against Vega Squadron. They're going to push up short, they're going to push up connection, they're going to be in window, they're going to push up middle all the time. It's going to be one of those games where I feel Sprout is really matched up poorly against Vega.
And that leads me to my next question. Predictions, boys. It's about time to get in the way. And I understand that you might have been saying something along those lines, but now I need you to stare down the barrel.
Definitively.
Stare down the barrel of the pipe
Give us
and
the
tell them
forecast.
what the forecast is.
I think Vega is going to win this game, mainly due to the fact that they're just too good at being annoying to play against. Sprout is not a team that can stand, their own toes when they are being pressured by all sorts of different angles. So I think it's going to be too much for them to handle.
And plants also don't have toes, so that's a big problem there. I think looking at this... Anyway, I think this matchup, in my opinion, is going to have to fall in the favor of Vega Squadron. I think that they're more experienced. I think that they're feeling at home at the moment. And I'm going to be expecting them to come out exactly like Jacob said, aggressively and disrespectful Counter-Strike, and really pound Sprout into the ground.
I think the reality is that if you have the best memes on Twitter, if your meme game is on point, and by that I mean that of sharks, you don't see any little shop of horror stuff coming out here for the likes of Sprout. But at least with Vega Squadron, the memes and the GIFs are on point. It's always firing on all cylinders. So take that into account when you're getting your guesses in at your respected guest sites.
What are you saying, Trace? Who's winning?
Yeah, it's going to be Vega Squadron.
We've gone with us this
Shark
time.
GIFs, yeah, of course. Either way, that just about does it enough of us blabbing and flabbering and whatever else that we do up here. It's time to now give it to the commentators who are ready to deliver us the action. It's going to be Henry, G, and Moses. Take it away, guys.
Budget.
Yeah. I learned from that desk that it sounds like Chad wants plants with toes. That's one of the things I sort of took from that, because he was like, yeah, no, plants don't have toes.
Has science gone too far? That's
yeah,
my
no, I suppose they could run away from the vegetarians. That would be like, I'd watch that movie, to be honest, like Flea of the Plants. That'd be quite cool. Or Flea of the Flowers. There you go. That's even better. But yeah, we're going to be going into this one. I do think that the matchup is going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
We sort of spoke to NATO yesterday, and it was like, well, you did this well versus Mouse Sports. Now you go up against a team who... It's like it should be an easier opponent, but the fact is, like he even said himself, it's like they're just so unpredictable. Like he said that with Mouse Sports, they kind of knew what they were doing. Obviously, they had a lot of sort of ex-players from that team. You could sort of read into a lot of the plays that were being made, whereas with Vega Squadron, there's not really anything to read into because they just play very scrappy, crazy Counter-Strike. It's very enjoyable to watch, but I would not like to play against them either.
No. We just saw the Twitch vote down there as well below. It was 52% to 48% in favor of Sprout, but I think a lot of the fans of Vega Squadron are watching the Russian stream right now. That would account to some of that. But yeah, definitely not Sprout being the favourites coming into this game, right? They are the underdogs, and I think that's going to be the case in the vast majority of games they do play here. They are one of the teams that hasn't really played at the same level as the likes of Vega. They've been to majors, Tom. They've proven themselves against some of the best in the world. So let's see if Vega Squadron can swim to success, or if Sprout will dig themselves out of this hole in the ground. We're straight into the pistol round. It's going to be Sprout on the T side of Mirage, and let's see if Vega bring the aggression that we know they can.
Going to be pushing in towards this A site. Now, there's a man in CT, but they've also got to make sure they clear dark. They're looking to try and actually take control of the jungle, but the man with the bomb's been executed. Chopper, he was very patient to make his play. He's already managed to find the kill, but more importantly, the bomb has hit the deck, and this is troublesome. We're going to see NATO pushing all the way back through the B site. Now, he's got B. Unfortunately, the bomb, well, he's not going to be able to get that one. Looking to try and rotate back. He may be able to find Hutji, which could be a good way back into this round. The timing may just work perfectly in his favor, and he'll execute him before anything more can be done. The fact is, though, well, the bomb.
Yeah, but they do have the time, Tom. That's the positive. Now Vega need to know about that CT spawn potential of a wrap. We've got Dennis coming in through the Palace late. So Sprout is slowing down. They slowed down to wait for NATO. Now they do the same for Dennis. The problem is, Chopper's on this position. He's ready for it. He may be already down to 20 HP, but he's going to be expecting the spot. Spiddy hits the shot, and Chopper's dead on the site. Now it's only 2 players left up. Tony, Black, and Crush trying to hold on to this round and hold on to the bomb, more importantly. They're ready for the Palace peak, and Tony Black gets that kill. Now Spiddy gets tagged even further down to 13 HP. And this is still a very hard round for Sprout. Don't get us wrong. It may be a 2v2, but Vega have the positioning, they have the time, but Sprout have the bomb. The plant's going to be attempted, and they're going to just stop it straight away. I don't know why Spiddy would be the one playing passive there. He's going to get the frag, and Crush is going to trade him back. A questionable round at best in that post or in that pre-plant, but really nice recovery from Vega.
Yeah, it like started atrociously, and it definitely looked like Sprout had got themselves back into the round there, but a brilliant read coming out that there was a long rotation back. Well, you go into the in-game odds, it's a little bit different. Obviously, the pistol probably just skewed those a little bit further the other way. Yeah, I think this matchup is going to be a very difficult one for Sprout, but they actually said themselves yesterday again that they were going to try and play a little bit of a looser style. I think NATO calling yesterday, he was saying, I want to make sure that my own game's up to standard. Definitely not the best of starts in this round. He's going to be absolutely wrecked by Chopper. The only thing that's worrying about that, though, is it almost sounds like they're going to try and play Vega at their own game, and you don't play Vega at their own game because it's their game.
Yeah. Nice pistol round for Sprout to slow it down and try and keep the pace slow, but this time they're going to speed things up on that B. Bomb site, Crush ready, and Hoochie's close up below as well. He's doing damage, trying to take them down as Percy gets into the bomb site. Nice shot with the CZ. Percy had some good deagles yesterday on train, so his pistol play is certainly up to scratch, but the bomb plant going to be going down. That nade will be a little bit too late, but it will take the kill because it's actually a double nade. Chopper comes in with a bit of damage as well. And Dennis, he's too far away. They know he's on the A site. They've got the round under wraps, and that will be Vega converting. Positives to take away, oh sorry, not positives, negatives to take away for Sprout here is as Chad mentioned on the desk, they win a lot of their pistol rounds, but they don't necessarily win all those games. So the fact that they're already 0-2 down is not looking good.
Yeah, definitely not the best of starts. We saw them with an incredible attempted comeback yesterday, and it was so damn close. And the funny thing is, we were with, I think it was one of the social media guys yesterday, and he literally looked down and just went, yeah, well, we've got Vega, and if we'd won those last couple of rounds, we would have got Cyberton. And it's just like, it's just an opportunity to have that, like, a really good chance of going 2-0, but hey, it's just the way it works sometimes, and now they've got to try and bring things back first into shots. Obviously, Vega Squadron, a team that sort of really did come out of nowhere. Like, I remember looking at like the amount of positions they gained in the HLTV rankings was absolutely ludicrous. Either way, push coming in towards the site, a little bit invested in this round as well. Hutchie already looking to shut things down. Lots of damage being done, at least onto Crush, but they're not able to take any of these kills. And Spitty, well, he was someone who didn't really invest into this at all. It's interesting to see Percy with only 1,000 left in the bank. I'm not sure what's happened there.
Maybe over-investments, but again, third round loss bonus coming in here for Sprout, so it's not a huge problem. They're going to have a bit more money to play with. Percy will be slightly lackluster on that, but everyone else should be able to buy up, and that's what's important. Will we see the AWP now, Tom? Because I'd like to see the AWP from NATO, but Armorless, that could certainly be dangerous. We know the pace that Vega set on the CT side, and combine the fact that you throw in SMGs with the bonus round coming in from Vega. If NATO was a top mid with an AWP, I would have no question whether Vega would rush him and take him down.
The interesting thing is, up until the last round, he would have had enough money, so he decided against it. Like, he bought Kevlar behind the deagle that was dropped by Dennis. So it was actually a decision rather than anything else, because he could have had it with Kevlar if he really wanted to. So, yeah, maybe a bit of a faster round coming in. Spitty's going to be the one to actually take the hit. He'll take just a CZ into this one. The boost has come in, but JR perfectly positioned, and, well, the start already looking very good for Vega Squadron on Mirage. I have to say, I do kind of agree with the desk about the decision to ban Train. Like, okay, sure, the T side wasn't great, but I feel like you can improve that. And your CT side was so good. Getting to Mirage is just not the map you want. And JR, again, just peeking out, no fear at the moment. Finally, he'll be taken down by Faven, but, well, the trade's just coming in. It's this aggressive mid-control that, well, Pimp sort of mentioned as well, that they're just not going to be able to win.
It's just that awkward spot where the second Sprout lose a man, that opens up another portion of the map for Vega to get aggressive on. And like, while a lot of teams wouldn't necessarily take that fight, Vega always will. So, okay, Sprout are in a 4v5, suddenly Vega's peeking window, now it's a 3v5, someone's peeking connector, now it's a 2, you know, it goes on and on and on, and it keeps digging a hole deeper.
I don't think I've ever seen a team as so focused on middle control as Vega Squadron.
Really?
I just don't think there's anybody else who really wants to take the fight every single time. Even if it like necessarily isn't working, they still want to take those battles because it's just where they feel comfortable fighting. And if they don't, then you've got to assume that they're taken somewhere else on the map. Like, they don't just play passively. It's not a thing. It's not in their book of strategies. This round, though, interestingly, there's actually no one in middle, but I think it's just because of all the aggression that's coming over towards B. They rotated one away. Percy is just playing a massive distraction game, and the distraction has worked. He's taken them away from middle. That's where the rest of the team are going to be going. Chopper playing passive at the moment, but more importantly, Tony Black wins that battle in towards the Palace, and now this sort of split in towards the site has been completely shut down. The attempt from Percy was nice. I like the fact that his whole goal there was to sort of be like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. And then everybody else is like, and now we walk into middle.
Yeah, well, it worked to draw the attention away, but with Chopper in the CT spawn and another man up in the Palace, it's not going to work out for Sprout. The split through that A-bomb site will get crushed pretty quickly. Now we have that 5-0 lead. Already a strong start for Vega Squadron, and you can't help but feel a little bit worried for Sprout coming into this one. They do have the guns again, yet to have an AWP, but JR is armed to the teeth. And look at this mid-push, Crush and Tony Black. They're getting right up in the face of Sprout. These teams have 3 on the other side waiting. You can't say they're not expecting this aggression. A slowed down pace as they know how much Vega have been forcing these early gunfights, and a close smoke thrown, that's very clear, but Tony Black going to give it up and fall back after a gap in the smoke is left. I say fall back, I mean reposition, because he's still in middle.
Yeah, fall back, you fool.
Vega falling back is them still holding deep mid control, but not pushing into T-spawn. That's what Vega falling back is.
Yeah, that's it. That's them not going full Vega. They're semi-Vega at the moment.
Oh. Sprout going to attempt to regain this control either way. The flashes and the smokes are in, but JR's here with the AWP. Nice start for Dennis. Finally Sprout with the man advantage. Let's see if they can do anything with this.
Yeah, I think it was the flashbang into middle that just left JR completely blind. It just meant that Tony Black was wrecked. Like, there was absolutely nothing he could do in that situation. So mid control has been gathered. Not seeing any re-aggression just yet. You can see JR's just holding outside of the little vent just to make sure that nobody can actually push in towards CT. T's being very methodical in their process of trying to clear out all of these angles as the bomb looks to make its way in towards that B position. Rotation from Spiddy will now come in to look to join the rest of his team. Now Crush is going to have a hell of a lot of work to do. He's got everybody going to be pushing in towards his angle. Molotov looking to clear him out of the angle, and it will be successful. Favor pushing and removes him without any problems at all. Now Chopper has managed to find one back, so it's still only a 3 versus 4. JR just, wow, the solo push of a lifetime that would have had to be to get into the site there. Then Chopper, it's likely that they may just try and hold on to things. The thing is, though, they still have so much cash.
Yeah, it'll take a while to break this bank, but there's not really any point going for this round. There was 10 seconds left when that bomb got planted, so JR dived into the site in an attempt to stop it and potentially even win the round if he did, but he didn't predict Sprout to be so pushed up close to the market. Optimistic, but with the money they have, Tom, it doesn't actually matter. The only issue with that is you've given NATO Safix an AWP, and that can certainly be a danger to Vega. But yeah, they can rebuy that without too much of a worry. 1 round for Sprout, and Vega know deep down that if they follow up and win this round, well, Sprout will be able to buy for another because they've saved 4 players. It's still going to be a reset.
Yeah, no, it will still be very painful for the European mix. Obviously now mostly German. Mostly German. They've got the couple of Danes still in there, and NATO and Percy. And Faven, the newest addition to this roster. But yeah, I think he has a lot to prove. Obviously, I think he's only 18 years old, very young player, so wanting to try and break his way in towards the international scene, but it hasn't been the best of starts for them. Still a very good performance they had yesterday, but look at this from Vega Squadron. Smoke into top mid, pushing all the way through, but Percy finds a tiny little gap, and that is enough to take down Hut G. Spiddy, in the meantime, is going to be controlling the Palace, and you can see that Sprout are almost playing a bit of a counter here. It's just a straight default, patiently waiting. They know the Vega will come for them, and then they're executing. They actually did in the last round as well. It's like, we'll let you have mid early, and then we'll try and come and take it back from you where we can predict that you're going to be in all of these ridiculous positions. And that's what they're trying again. You can see Faven slowly making his way through in towards mid. Chopper has to be careful here. The flash comes through, but the patience of Sprout is paying off. There's only 3 players now left, and they're all still looking to try and find some sort of way back into this round.
Yeah, I mean, Vega are aggressive normally, but now that they're 2 men down, they have to be aggressive. They have to get kills to try and force back this man disadvantage. Tony Black doing exactly that down on ramp, but this is a position where he surely can't get more than 1 or 2 kills. Sprout are so grouped up that trading shouldn't be too hard, and he's going to sneak into the angle. Dennis is there, ready and waiting on the other side. Now Sprout with a 5-on-2. This is looking dominant again. He hears that scope up on short. He knows JR is in this position, so he can be very, very ready to catch this rotate if Vega do want to go for this. But the chances of that is extremely low. The bomb's down. You have 3-man disadvantage. The money's fine again for Vega, but the more and more rounds that Sprout get, the more and more money the Vega don't make. And JR even spots Dennis on the cross there, so he has to be aware of the possibility of him being in the B bomb site. He does miss the shot. Crush waiting for the short push. Faven gets that grab. JR mollied out. I like how Sprout are chasing this down. They want to break the cash here and now. They do not want Vega to have anything into this. So 5-2. Sprout come back a little bit into this game, but again, Tom, Vega can buy.
Yeah, that was an excellent round from Sprout. It was very like calm and methodical, and I think that's the sort of thing that a lot of people don't expect them to be able to do consistently, because that's the thing that Vega tried to disrupt. The Sprout team are obviously not at the heights of a lot of these international teams that will counter Vega in that way, that they will wait patiently, they'll execute later into the rounds, and they'll be able to pull it off. And the fear is that if Sprout try that, it won't work consistently. So we'll have to just wait and see. We're going to see the same sort of smoke thrown in.
Oh!
What? Bye, Hutchie. See you later.
Someone's been watching Launders with those B-hops. Oh my sweet lord.
I don't know. If you watched his stream back in the day, I wonder if maybe Launders was watching him.
Man, I love watching Native Sapphics's stream like highlights or even match highlights.
Well, yeah, he used to just do like Road to Global with like a pistol, and it would like the guy is literally like a streamer. He was talent for a bit as well. Like I think he did something here with me, like the BetNet. Talented player as well, and already he's going to get himself a second tag. They are punishing aggression. I like this. Like Vega Squadron are being almost forced back into a corner, trying to get them to play these more passive style of play. Of course, minute left on the clock, and again we're going to see this mid control, but it's still a challenge. And JR, he's already going to be finding one back. Looking for more is Tony Black, and it's starting to fall apart a little bit here for Sprout. They had the early start, but now things are looking bleak.
There's blood in the water, and Vega can smell it. Hounding in on Sprout now with 3 players left up and only 35 seconds on the clock. They're going to go back to A. Vega's misread this. They've gone for a double B setup with another man in middle. Here's the replay of the just jumping AWP shot. Tony Black is the only man to defend this site, but he's in a really good position to actually lock down any Palace push while also not exposing himself to the ramp. He's at the back of Firebox there, and in fact, they're both coming from Palace, with JR taking their attention away from this position. Are Sprout even going for this? There's 10 seconds left, Tom.
It looks like they made the decision just to save because things have gone so poorly in this round. I am surprised. I think that's a little bit much, especially when you look how much money they've actually got still in the bank. Just allowing Vega Squadron to have a free round like this, 4 players surviving and just seemingly running out of time. It's definitely an interesting call. Obviously, didn't feel like there was a chance for them to win the round, but I feel like that is tapping out quite early.
Yeah, right. 3v4 is certainly still doable. Vega had run out of utility. I mean, of course, Sprout aren't to know all the details, but with 1 player on the A site, you can definitely get that kill and get yourself into a 3-on-3 post-plant. It's not an unwinnable round. But Sprout apparently going to forfeit it. And now we have a short pause. Not sure. I imagine that's tactical from Sprout. Yeah, after that round, they've clearly got something going on. They clearly want to talk about something.
Yeah. Let the big man at the back give them a little bit of a chat and see what he can actually bring in, because I know that I'm pretty sure it's Toby who they have at the back behind them, and I think they have a lot of respect for their coach. So hopefully he's been watching over their shoulder, maybe spotted something. I think probably what's been spotted is the amount of aggression from Vega Squadron, which I think even a blind man could see. But at the same time, there is still now money building back up for Vega Squadron. You need to break them. Those couple of rounds were good, but there's still a lot to do if you're on the Sprout side of things. Once again, no surprise. Going to be some mid-aggression here. And look at this from the T side. They're trying to play off this mid-aggression. They're going straight in towards the A side. Everybody's out. Favor's going to start things off, and JR completely misses the shot. Favor's been excellent so far. He's had a couple of crucial rounds. One of the cleanup to really remove a lot of the weapons. And in this one, he's just entry right in towards the site. Obviously, the replacement Cyclone was, I believe. Either way, it is now going to be another save. Was Cyclone or Console? I always get those two mixed up.
I'm checking. It was Cyclone.
I was right the first time. I shouldn't have questioned myself. Damn it.
Believe in yourself, Tom. Right? Faven believes in himself. He's top of the server right now, despite Sprout being half of the score that Vega are, or they will be, because this round is done. 3-6 is going to be the T side. And again, they're hungry to hunt, and I like that. Don't have fear. You may be the underdogs coming into this game, but if you're in these positions where you can take weapons away from Vega, do it. They are. So only one gun kept forward for the Vega Squadron side. And now, Tom, this huge bank of 10k plus that Vega once had has started to slip away. It's been submerged in the water. And Sprout are back in business.
Yeah, important that they won that round, because that would have been the pretty much confidence destroyed if they decided to save and then they lost. That would have been a pretty poor situation for them to be in. But now at 6-3, they have themselves the chance to maybe get one a little bit easier. It's never easy versus Vega Squadron. They're still damn good with these pistols, and they've still got Chopper with a rifle, and he is a man who can do many amazing things, and they're going to be pushing in towards the stack. Every single Vega Squadron player here, Percy, well, every single one except Crush, but look at the amount of damage that's being done at the moment. The CT side are really going to make this one costly. JR may be the only one left, but look at the HP on Dennis and Faven.
Yeah, Nato just needs to clear this up before it gets dangerous, but now he's picked up a gun, now he's armed. The aim punch will be too much for JR, and he'll go down. So Sprout, 3 alive, couple deaths, not a big problem.
Still close though.
Yeah, far too close.
A lot closer than when if you like, yeah, 3 players alive, and then you look at the HP of 2 of them, you're like, oh, 20 HP between them. That's that's a little bit closer than you like. Here we go though, Vega Squadron back with the rifles. I do think they're a team as well that, although the AWP for JR is a strong purchase, I don't think it really is much of a problem if they don't have it. Yeah. Like they'll just switch up their setup. They'll go even more aggressive. NATO again, he's going to be going for these opening picks. Trying to find something here. Chopper as well, looking for placement into middle. Obviously 5-0 down. Sprout have brought it back to at least a reasonable scoreline. But still a long way to go. And JR, I'm sure he had that one, but Percy just pops his head at the last second and keeps himself alive. CT's now are going to go for more aggression. Look at Hutchie. Oh, is he going to get punished for this? No, he's not. Percy obviously very low on HP, so that will be the trade fairly quick for the Vega Squadron side.
Faven's found a gap. He's found a bit of a modicum of timing that he can sneak up through short. Spinny, in the meantime, has drawn the attention by getting a kill on A, and it will be an A push after all, but Faven's up in the window room. He's found the back of Crush. Dennis, another entry to the CT spawn, and Faven is locking down this map. 11-6. The young gun coming straight from Aronix to Sprout. And he's definitely proving himself here in Kiev.
Yeah, I have to say, he was someone when they picked him up, I was like, oh. Like, I didn't really see it coming. It's a team that obviously I keep my eye on. And yeah, I was sort of questioning the decision, but in this game so far, he's looked excellent. Obviously, he's got that little bit of a CIS blood in him, so he's countering the full CIS Vega Squadron team. I believe he is part Russian, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah. Along with the German. So a pretty good mix for Counter-Strike.
Yeah, that's a good team.
Not so good as my very slightly Irish and English. It doesn't really work very well. That's what I'm blaming for my poor Counter-Strike skill. It's my blood.
Vegas stacks again, Tom. Look at these. They're again fully committed to this B bomb site. And Sprout are about to walk right into it. They've done this twice now. And again, this time, well, even easier than the last. Jumper's going to do some damage. Percy's down to 3 HP, but it won't make a difference. Apparently not. JR's found 2.
Hello.
What's happened? He's on the flank with an AK, but NATO will keep things in check. Again, it's similar to the previous anti-eco where Sprout get like 3 kills and then suddenly it goes down to a 2-on-2 and you're getting very worried. But
15k on both NATO and Faven when they started this round. So although it's more just how close the rounds are rather than the actual risk to economy, because they can pretty much buy to the end of the half. So they're in a good, strong position here. Back to 6-6 from 5-0 down. It's getting worrying for them for sure. And I thought that maybe they were just going to get run over. Ooh. How does JR not hit anything there? He had 5 targets. He managed to hit it through the legs of somebody. Already he's going to be tagged down. And Percy, I love the way he's playing. That's your teammate, Percy. Don't be shooting him. NATO's been given a little bit of a love tap, and Tony Black caught into the corner. Chopper, though, this position's so valuable. He finds 1 and 2, but the bomb goes down. Spiddy looking for more, but he'll be met with JR. It's left onto Dennis and Faven. They've been good so far. Dennis AWPing manages a first. Hutchie just going to bypass him. Continue his push forward. Lot for Faven to do. He gets a first, but nothing more, and both players will be dropped. It's close, but it's not quite enough for Sprout. Vega will take the lead once again, and they've saved a double AWP.
Oh, such a messy round, but Vega, fantastic work to actually get ahead of that and actually pick it up, right? That double push on the CT spawn that's not expected from the jungle peak of Percy. And yeah, that's going to be the round for Vega. So 7-6 now, back in the lead. Sprout did a great job of pulling it back. That's, what, 6 rounds with only 1 in the middle. But no, it will eventually be broken again. Vega showing them who's boss.
Yeah, and that one in the middle was the 3-man save.
Yeah.
So...
Ooh, so not a bad buy by any means. Chopper, he's got a gun after all. Double AWP, NATO's back on his. JR hoping he doesn't get a split shot in between a player this time, but there's only one man, and that's NATO. Cross towards the mid boxes. Oh, JR's ready for it. And this is a problem. NATO's alone, so it's very easy for Vega to decide to just pressure him. The nade's going to land straight on his head. Percy and Dennis into the B bomb site. Dennis has found a kill to at least open up this part of the map. With that secondary AWP dropped, Hutchie as well, this could be another opportunity for Sprout.
A lot of low players once again, but still they have the man advantage. Rotation is going to be coming around from mid, and NATO will set himself up in towards the apartments, trying to make sure people can't come in from behind. JR through the smoke, and he will find himself a kill this time onto Dennis. A little bit more looking for Spitty, hits the shot through the wall. Every single player at the moment is tagged for Sprout, and Chopper just comes in to mow them down. It's left all onto NATO, and he can't do anything. Fantastic retake from Chopper. He will put an 8th round onto the board for Vega Squadron. Of course, there's plenty of money for Sprout left, but Vega Squadron have confirmed the half.
Chopper's having a great game as well. 13 frags on him. It's him, Dennis, and Favon really finding the frags here on Mirage. And yeah, another unfortunate post-plant for the side of Sprout that doesn't quite go their way. Very closer. They are at least, in every single round, it feels like it's never clear. There's never a clear winner. No one's getting dominated here. Both teams are neck and neck in all these rounds, really, since the start of Vega Squadron that was so dominant, right? Since Sprout slowed down, but NATO doesn't slow down for anyone. He's already out-ramped. Dennis gets caught by the push-up into Palace. It's been so consistent of this Vegas side. Percy needs to be aware of the push-up short. He is holding the angle, but the flashbang is good, and Crush is going to win that duel. It's now back to the man advantage for Vega, but Sprout are all over this bomb site. The nade won't connect, but the shot certainly will, and this is falling apart here for the plants.
Yeah, they're all just trying to find battles, and now NATO is left in a 1 versus 4. It's not going to be happening. It will be a 9-6 half. It seems like Vega managed to rectify their mistakes towards the end. And actually notice how Sprout, the way they started getting rounds on the board was actually to fall into almost the Vega Squadron strategy. They notice all of the strategies they threw in towards the end were super basic. Push B, run into A with an AWP. All the other rounds, they were trying to challenge in middle. There's not been a whole lot of in-depth strategy because there is no point.
I can't even argue with it as well. That's the worst part. This is how Vega have made multiple majors with the core as well. Like, even with a 3-man core, even after roster changes, still able to repeat the same
even
success.
When they lost their best player.
Yeah, right? Still able to repeatedly make majors. Impressive stuff. And now they're going to look to try and close out this game. A pistol round could be their way, but Sprout, as said, are very good at these. So let's find out. Vega won the first.
Spitty as Zeus.
Okay, typical. That makes no sense. Fast. Wait, where is he playing then? He's playing
I think that was a mistake.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. It's probably just the native bot in doesn't want it.
Oh, Hutchie, he's getting pressure. The problem is he's only a distraction. Percy takes him down, but it's the mid push that they've got to worry about. Dennis does not want to take this fight. There are 3 angry Russians on the other side, and they are just firing off on all cylinders. Favon's going to trade things back at least with 2 quick shots, but it's a 3-on-2. Does he realize JL's out? He's up on the stairs, dropped into the sandwich, and Favon's looking to take a bite out of his health. It's down to 10, and the bomb's been dropped. Chopper's all that remains here for Vega in a 1v3.
Yeah, everything to do for Chopper. He has been spotted out as well. NATO going to try and pop flash in, but doesn't work at all. Chance for Chopper here. He manages to get the first. Favon's still on the site. Now, he doesn't know where Spitty currently is. He's playing very close to his position. 45 seconds left on the clock, so he's still got a chance to make a few plays. Just going to look to try and run in here. He's got to be careful. There is a man just waiting over towards this jungle spot. I think he has absolutely no idea, Spitty. I thought for a second that was going to go wrong, but it is Sprout to win the pistol. But let's see if they can get the follow-up before we get excited about the 9-9.
Yeah, we were trying to look up pistol stats for Vega earlier on like their force by wins until we realized that they haven't even played enough maps
to quantify being on there.
Quantify being on there, yeah. So that's just an example of how little Vega play officials.
Yeah.
But still,
they had a long break. Like they sort of played a few qualifiers with like a messy team. Like I have to say, like I once casted a game where they had their manager had to stand in because somebody, like they already had the coach standing in, and then someone dropped and they had their manager stand in. And I was just like, it's one of the most mental things I've ever had to cast. But either way, confidence coming out from Sprout. A dink onto Dennis, so he still has to be careful, but he's got Percy to support him. They want to try and keep this round as clean as humanly possible, but already Crush peeks out and puts it down at Dennis.
That being said, Vega are tagged up across all 3 players here. The max of 60 health. This is certainly not a problem yet for Sprout, but it certainly could be with these Deagles coming out through ramp. Faven in the back of CT spawn doesn't need to commit to this fight. You can even give Vega a bomb plant if you really do fear that, because a retake should be fine for the Sprout guys. They have the manpower, at least in terms of advantage and weapons. He spots the ramp play, he doesn't see how many are there, and it's going to be pretty obvious quite soon with the shots rallying through. Faven peeks out, there's a nice kill, catches the timing onto Chopper. They don't expect the peek. Now the re-peek in, he's found a second. Crush trades, but NATO standing by, looking very happy on that face cam.
By the way, for anybody wondering what they're playing on, if you were wondering, I don't really know why, because there is only one brand that you're purchasing. It's NVIDIA. Let's be real. Let's be real. I would say NVIDIA, but I think it sounds better.
NVIDIA? How do you do it?
NVIDIA.
NVIDIA. So you've added an I at the start. Nice.
NVIDIA. Yeah.
You're an innovator.
Yeah, I know. I just like the sound of it. I like the ring.
Well, 9-8 for Vegas still, but they're back down to a full eco. This is now Sprout's chance to equalize things on the CT side. And I'd like to think they could do this one without too much of a hassle.
Well, decent start. Actually chuck in the rifle over to Dennis so that he can make a little bit of money with this MP9. And well, Dennis is just going to make just as much with the rifle. He has to get double the amount of kills. P250 battle. And perfectly clean from Sprout. So they will even up the scoreline 9-9. But now it gets into those juicy buy rounds. And this is where Vega Squadron could run amok. We know how aggressive this team like to be. They know that smokes don't exist to Vega Squadron. They've deleted smoke.exe.
He's floating.
In the air.
It's not Christmas yet, Tom.
I miss the snowman. Yeah. That is the saddest story of all time.
Double AWP.
It did seem like Faven was saving the one, but I thought he just dropped it. No, they've gone straight in with the double AWP. They really want to go for this sort of pug style of play. It's an expensive setup to run, though. And look at this from Crush. He's already got very far forward. Dennis is trying to take the battle versus him. Neither player really connecting, but well, JR certainly will. And well, just look at it. There's so many different positions being taken at the moment from Vega Squadron. They want to challenge on every portion of the map.
And this Palace burst is going to be the most annoying part. They've drawn everyone off of that A-bomb site. We have a retake set up here from the CT side. Faven, he's got to let them come out, but he can't stop them from pushing any further. The Molotov is in, the flash over the top, but Tony Black, he doesn't give a damn. Fully blind, gets the kill. Nate's back in response, but they line up, and Tony Black is in the CT spawn with 2 more. NATO's all that stands, and even gets rid of the Zeus. And I think we need to see this AWP saved, but will Vega even allow it?
Did he see the barrel of Crush? That's the thing. I don't know if he did. Oh, well, he will know he's there now. The problem is they are hunting him down. They want to take this AWP out of his hands already. Switching to the Deagle, and it won't matter. Crush removes him. Money is not really going to be there. Well, it's sort of a catch-22 in a way, because they force here. There's a couple of players with pistols. They save here. And it's slightly better, but then they have around here where they have some pistols. That's obviously there's not actual errors on our screen. It's just the TV. They've decided to video the TV.
And this is where those are swapped. It's actually Vega in the lead, not Sprout. But yeah, this is where it could get a little bit scary, right? Vega on the T side again, a very strong CT side team. We already saw their aggression, their unwillingness to stop pushing. But now they're on the T side. They're allowed to do that, Tom. They're allowed to push, and yeah, that's when it can get very difficult for Sprout, especially trying to run this double AWP, right? When you're just met with these fast B plays or quick mid executes with lots of utility. How do you counter that with an AWP? Is that the right weapon for the job?
Again,
Have they?
Well, NATO hasn't picked anything up, and Faven, I think he bought one glass cannon. Maybe he's just
No,
been
I think
dropped the rifle.
he got it dropped from Dennis. I might be wrong on that. Well, we'll see. I'll be surprised if they can even afford a double up. They only won 3 rounds in a row.
They had
they've got
a
it.
couple. Yeah, they
right.
do have a double orb. So, well, we'll see. It's because the other players didn't actually force money. They just had what they already had. So there was still like 5 grand plus on a few players. Either way, Dennis around the smoke. He spots out one. Nice start. He's got to get away from this orb of JR, but he actually finds the second as well. What a brilliant start to the round from Dennis. He's waiting for somebody to try and push him from behind. Hutchie is going to oblige, and the timing may get him, but the flashbang is absolutely perfect. What a superb round from Dennis. Tony Black, he wants some more heroics, pushing in on towards Spiddy. Only has himself an SMG, although we were showed by Stan how it can be used. But Tony Black is going to put him down and turn this into a winnable position.
Make it caught by the market peak, though. There it is. Faven spotted him. Orb can come back out, and now he knows exactly where he is. Tony Black's dropped. Did he spot Faven? That's a no. He's going to get sidelined. And now it is just Chopper. In a 1v3, the bomb still under the control of Sprout, and he's going to be making a lot of noise. I'm not too sure about that one. Does not expect the push for some reason. And 10 to 10 for Sprout. They bounce back, Tom. And not only do they bounce back, but they get a reset onto the economy of Vega. Yes, they kept a lot of players alive in that one round. They did win,
I think it was all 5.
Really? Yeah.
I don't think they lost a single player in that. That
sounds about right.
In that round, so there should be money there. I will say, I think this team has been one of the best things that could have happened to Dennis, because I think he's gone from being like someone who could have fit more of a star role in a team, but was always put in a more supportive position, and like he looks so much better when playing for Sprout.
Yeah.
Obviously, he needs to, because they need someone to step up. But he's been completely caught off guard. Crush, again, the same play, the aggressive push in. Dennis tries to rectify the situation, and, well, it's one of those situations, again, of, like, fool me once. NATO always spots Crush. Faven's actually found another one. He's just holding down the A site on his own. Both players found in Palace. The round has flipped on its head. It was an advantage for their opponents. Obviously, a couple of low players still. Crush hoping to try and find a kill onto NATO. NATO a little bit wary that he did actually just jump in towards the window. It's not the case. And Spiddy's actually on this site alone. Now, he's very low on HP, 11 in fact. And JR may be tagged, but he's definitely not as weak.
Ooh, it's all about the timing. Oh, JR check, he does. He gets the wall bang as well. Spiddy misses that opening couple of bullets. The bomb can now go down, but again, with a double orb retake, Tom, this is not going to be an easy round for Sprout. Crush has pushed up as well. This is a sick crossfire. If anyone pushes through this door, the chances they get a kill is very, very low. They have to pre-aim this angle, and this is a bit of an off one from JR. He's going to catch one. Even with NATO walking out, he's going to be focused on the site, and Crush takes the frag instead. Vega, really nice afterplants there. 2v2, one without too much of a problem, and now that is them bouncing back with, again, think of that buy, Tom. It was AKs across everyone, yes, but in terms of utility, they didn't have more than maybe 6 nades across the entire team.
Vega Squadron don't need utility.
Exactly, right? That fast short play from Crush, the attempted trade in middle not going well from Sprout. That was a very fast, as we obviously assume, and clean round from Vega.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. It's like, that round, realistically, it should have been done far easier. They found the first 2 opening kills, and it was just the double orb setup, like Faven and NATO both finding kills. It was just when it came down to Spiddy being alone on the B site, he had no health. And as you said at the time, the crossfire from the T side, obviously it relied on JR hitting the shot, but the second he did, I don't think anybody expected NATO to come out of that with a win. But yeah, this was great, just finding both players in the Palace. Does actually get dinked up through the box, but now we get to see what is on the table. You can see they are saving again to try and get those AWPs in a round or two's time and trying to do some damage with the pistols in this one. Spiddy and Percy. The only one with much invested, well, Dennis and Percy. Spiddy's gone for a Zeus again. He's going to play around the smoke.
It was purpose then.
I don't know, but he was still dropped it. Like, he didn't have enough money to buy it in the round he had it before, and he's actually going to get it. And retrieve an AK. This is not a bad situation now for Spiddy. What can he do? Nothing. JR just puts him down. He's like, all right, that's enough of that.
Worth it. How much is the Zeus? 200? 400? 300? No.
Oh, what, to buy it? Yeah. 200.
200, okay. I love how you know that answer.
Of course I know the answer.
You're a big, keen Zeus fan.
No, I'm not.
It is his birthday today. Not just Shazam's. Zeus's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's true, by the way. I'm not just saying.
yeah.
Well, Vega, they're about to walk into a stack, but I'm still not too worried. It's quite unequipped for Sprout. Dennis is dead. NATO has a USP. Percy's the only one who can get anything done, but in an essential 1v4 with the bomb already backing off, good luck. Sprout are convinced by this push from Vega, and in fact, it's only now one man, Chopper, looking to slice and dice open this B site. Percy takes him down with a jump, and now it is just going to be a overrun. But Sprout have realized far too late.
Yeah, still a chance to actually retrieve an AK, though. That's great. I do like seeing a Zeus kill.
Yeah, why not?
It's sort of one of those things as well. If you're the other person, all you can do is just be like, oh. Like, then there's no benefit if you don't get the weapon either. You get no money. None. For getting a kill with the Zeus.
It's kind of giving me flashbacks to mine and Harry's 2v2 versus Chad and Trace, where Trace Zeused me in the pit on Inferno just the other day. That wasn't nice. It really is, yeah, it hurts. Left deep mental wounds, but the biggest wound here is Sprout's money. Look at it. They lose the eco. Yeah. They do save a gun, but other than that, they really are on the edge of things. Despite Vega having really no money themselves, it's been back and forth, but finally with 2 in a row from the T side, that's going to force another eco out of the Sprout side. One more before the buy. And it's not the worst situation, right? It'll be, what, 13-10? You can still win that game if you're Sprout. It's starting to get difficult.
They definitely came back from way worse yesterday. Like they were absolutely destroyed in the first half of Train. The problem is, I feel like this game is, a lot of it will come down to momentum. And I think if Vega Squadron start getting a bit of wind in their sails, or maybe the waves start pushing them forward, we could see them just walk over this to the end. Now, I like the fact that Sprout are just still going to take the hit. They're going to rely on their full buy. Well, they do still have that 1 AK. It's Percy. He's currently looking to take the fight into middle. Unfortunately, this is the time that Vega Squadron have decided to go for this A push. Faven desperately trying to survive as long as possible, but eventually Tony Black will dunk him out of the round and leave Percy to try and do some damage here, but absolutely nothing achieved. And NATO is now the only one left.
Ooh. Hello. Knock, knock. Who's there? It's NATO. He's only going to get 2 frags, but why not? That's worth it. Take a couple of guns away.
From no damage at all to getting 2 kills with the CZ, like, it's not a bad change. Obviously, still Vega Squadron are in the lead when it comes to the odds. No surprise there. But at the same time, this is now where the Sprout side are going to make their move. They've got the double AWP set up. They were saving for it, so I'd assume that it comes in. Extra money was saved also by Spiddy, so we may see a bit of extra utility on him. While Dennis has been going so aggressive that most of the time I wouldn't really expect him to need that much utility, in all honesty.
So if this double orb again will work out for Sprout. Fathom had some success earlier on that A-bomb side, but Percy peeking out wide, he's going to go to Hutchie. Fathom trades, but oh my god, Hutchie is opening up this B site like an absolute madman. In the meantime, the pressure is relieved on A, so Chopper takes advantage. Dennis is pushed into B, and that's the bomb on JR. If he wins this fight, he can win the round single-handedly. There's still Tony Black coming from the back lines, but Dennis has taken an AWP, and he may have just taken the round by storm.
Yeah, Dennis just in these rounds has just been absolutely nuts. He's now got, well, just look at it. AWP, AWP, AWP. Just all looking to try and defend versus these remaining players. Hutchie can't really make much of a play because he's left on 5 HP, not knowing that it doesn't really matter how much health you have, because 1 bullet from any of these weapons will be enough to kill them off. Now, as you mentioned, a lot of these rounds have not been clean, and we sort of said at the time that NATO's couple of kills may not play too much of a part, but, well, going into this round, if they can just finish this off without too much problems, it really could end well. Nice shot from Dennis, actually kills the man in the back. Now, Chopper will be able to finish off 1. If anybody could do this, I think it would be Chopper. Smoke going to be falling. NATO's here ready and waiting. He'll throw a smoke of his own, and NATO just trying to spam through the smoke here. He's actually going to switch off to the rifle. I think that's the right decision to make, because he knows that Chopper is likely to try and push through here, and NATO will be there to close it out. But yeah, just looking at the team money, it's not a bad position for the side of Vega, but it's not a good one either.
Kind of middle ground right now.
Middle ground, yeah.
But they are still in the lead, Tom, 13-11, so right now, the pressure isn't really on for Vega. Not that they have this game in the bag by any means, but they have some breathing room. And we've seen them win this buy before. I wouldn't be surprised if Crush goes for this really fast mid play and just gets up short instantly. He's already speeding up, this time through the B apartments, though. And Sprout, lucky they have 2 players there, because they may just be met with a couple of Vega players as well. It's actually an underpass split. This is just going back to a fairly casual A play with the bomb wrapped back from JR eventually after they secure some mid control. Does Dennis want to give it their way? He has 23 kills right now, Tom. He is top of the server, him and Faven. 23 and 22 respectively.
It does show that maybe they need somebody else to step up with them, because if they've got the 2 top fraggers and they're still losing, then something is clearly going wrong. Smoke does go into the window. They know that from this previously that the T's do like to try and boost in here. This time not so aggressive from Dennis, and that is where he's been playing his best, in these sort of aggressive, ridiculous situations where he just seems to win all of those aim duels. Crush is going to be waiting in the connector. He's got to be very careful with the peaks here, but I think that Faven is also going to have an awful lot to do in terms of this round.
So all this duel hit from Crush, he wins it. 4 HP the difference, and Dennis is dead. Percy tries to lock down mid, but he just dives in. He's now got to retreat, get out of this position, because he's so susceptible to dying from JR. In the meantime, Faven tries to hold down this CT spawn. We've seen a couple of kills from this position before with an AWP, but will this be the round that he can step up? Because it needs to be. JR has killed Percy. It's a 5-on-3, Tom, with double orb still up, but Faven's down. Hutchie found the shot back from the ramp, and NATO Safix tries his best to keep things alive, but I don't think he'll even be able to guarantee his own life with Vega in a 4-on-2. Sprout don't go for this. We're going to start to see these T's chasing.
Yeah, this has been the problem since the pistol, that Sprout, they've come close in a lot of the rounds, but they've never managed to actually win more than 1 in terms of buys. It's only been the pistol and 2 follow-up rounds. NATO just trying to hold for any further aggression. They still want to try and keep these remaining players honest on the Vega Squadron side, but they're ever leading themselves closer and closer to the finish line. And once again, it just is a money trouble problem now for Sprout. They don't have the cash, but at the same time, they have to go for something here.
Yeah, do you really want to play up against 15 rounds if you're Sprout?
The money would be rubbish in the next round anyway, so it's sort of like you either go for something now with 2 orbs, or with an AWP and a rifle, or you just save, lose probably both of those weapons, and then you go into the next round with even less. So
they'd have about 4K, just under 4K each.
They would have, no, I think they would have had about...
I'm pretty sure I saw about 1900 on most of the players. I'll check. Oh, they forced, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have had 4K next round anyway if they
I still think this
all I agree. I think they should buy here as well. I'm just saying that, you know, there'd be something, but 4K is, you know, that gets you body armor M4 and then no utility. Like, I'd much rather 2 rounds of force buys rather than a round of rifles with no utility.
And even then, it's like,
yeah,
you're giving them map point.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Let's
Double
find
AWP setup. It's going to be Dennis and NATO to take them. Dennis has been excellent so far. NATO wanting to try and step up into this round. They need a hero, and the problem is, look at what Vega Squadron are doing. Straight in towards this A side they go, but Faven, he's been great too. Going with the CZ, tapping away. He almost gets a second kill. He's so close. And while Dennis running through the smoke, it's just not happening. Vega Squadron are just running over their opponents, and while it is going to be Spitty trying to find something here. He's on the edge. These quick A-site pushes, Sprout have just not been able to deal with them at all. And, oh, NATO, he may just have to fall back and save. It's not what they want to be doing at 14-11 and allowing a 15th round onto the board. It started well. Faven really has been excellent in this game, like looking for those plays, and he was so close to getting himself a second kill. The fact is, though, the rest of his team just got slaughtered.
Sharks may be known to be in the ocean, but today they're in the waterfalls, falling out of that palace. That is a horrible round to lose to map point. Just map point, match point. And now we see the hunting. Vega knows that they can risk going for these guns. They're already sending players into the T-spawn, but Chopper doesn't want to push a smoke. So this will be a couple of bits of weaponry saved for Sprout. An AWP on NATO, a CZ on Spitty. But Vega, they're 1 round away from taking this victory here. And again, Tom, as has been the nature of this brutal, brutal morning, these are the loser matches. The loser of this is going down 0-2 here in Kiev, 1 loss away from elimination. So Sprout, well, they're 1 round away from losing this map, so they need to bounce back here and now. They're not going to have the money to do it. They've got to force once again. Double UMP, CZs, and yeah, just anything you can hope for, Sprout. They've got to make a hero play, but NATO's already been decapitated. You can't beat Chopper with his pace in middle. He's already there before NATO.
Yeah, that was a ridiculously fast push coming out, and while Already that AWP has hit the deck. This is not the start that the CT side were looking for, and I think this may be the beginning of the end for Sprout. Spitty is now trying to make a play and actually manages to get himself the AWP back. Slight upgrade, although he definitely hasn't been the playmaker in this game. 8 and 17, sat right at the bottom. They've still got Dennis. They've still got Faven. They're the two we look to in this one, but Spitty is going to be the one challenged. He's got that AWP, manages to find a first on the site. He's got to pull something out the bag here, and he manages a second as well. This could be the moment for Spitty. He actually hits the shot as well. He's got Percy alongside him and looking for more. Can't hit the no-scope, and somehow he's still alive. Dennis will be there to save him, and it's left all onto JR. Tag low, finds the first.
But he's so low. 22 points of health, only one bullet needed from Sprout to finish it off. It's a similar situation for Spitty. The Molotov goes in deep. That might cut him off, but Spitty cuts JR's head off. NATO, you can see him screaming. That round meant so much to Sprout. A low buy. They managed to pick it up against the fully equipped Vega, and that has now turned the money back on its head. Now Sprout are actually going to have some economy to play against. 15 to 12. It's still a long road to success for Sprout, but they're starting to pave it.
Yeah, that definitely got the blood pumping, especially for Spitty. That came from absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, what a round. 8 kills. What was it? 7 kills? 8 kills this entire game, and then he goes and gets 3 at map point against him.
Yeah, and finding the AWP like halfway through the round as well. Wow. Either way, they're going back to basics. This has been just a full-on success. Faven, he wasn't getting burnt initially, but he definitely is now. Surely he's dead. How is he still alive here? I think Chopper definitely knows. He knows something, but he's still managing to lurk around in the smoke. He's trying to just play this. I think he stepped as well. They should have heard him. It shouldn't make much of a difference, but he's going to look to go for the peak. But JR didn't expect it to be that close. He only manages one, though, and it makes no difference in the end. That A site just couldn't be stopped. The pushes from Vega Squadron will send them 1-1. And Sprout, they now go in that formidable 0-2. And the problem is, like, we could genuinely have a German org versus a German, or basically Germans v Germans is bigger down there as well.
We already had German v German org yesterday, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's a heartbreaker for Sprout as well, being down 2 maps, but being able to put up 14 rounds versus Mouse Sports, 12 rounds versus Vega, who are coming hot off some good performances recently in London. Definitely looking like one of those, maybe not dark horse teams to go far in the event, but to show the start of what could be a bit of a future storyline for Sprout, maybe, I don't think this is the event they're going to find too much success, but hey, they're starting to show improvements. They're starting to show land experience and being able to get a lot of rounds. But Vega, again, they are the expected victors of that game, and they will take it away.
Well, yeah, this is like the sort of start of what we're seeing from Faven. There's definite potential there, because I haven't seen too much from him up to this point, but he was really good on that A site, especially when he picked up the secondary AWP. He was excellent. He was the only way they ever stopped the A site being taken. Other than that, we had Dennis just running around the map and winning rounds. It wasn't so much on the A site. So I just think it was the basics, though. Like, Vega Squadron was so good at just running into the site and finding an entry. Like, every single time they went A, other than when that AWP was there from Faven, they just won the round.
I mean, look at Crush as well. He was so aggressive. So many times he was up cap before, these guys had even peeked into middle. But enough from us. We've got an interview down on the stage now, so let's throw it to that.
He might have been aggressive in the game, but he's a pussycat as an interviewee, I'm assured. Crush, congratulations. Such a close fight against NRG yesterday, but you weren't disappointed today, of course. You had such a dominant start on that CT side. Tell me what your thoughts were going into this game.
I don't know, we were just confident. We didn't prepare that much for this game. And we all felt confident. If we take the game, we are confident like every round. If we lost like 5 rounds, I guess, City in a row, or maybe 4, we still were confident that these rounds were like one mistake or something like that, and we can win easily next rounds.
How did you keep it together, though, when Sprout started to catch up with you?
I don't know. We just tried to play our game and sometimes try to surprise them with some fast-paced rounds, and I don't know, we were just confident like everyone. No one was scary or something like that.
And we're in your home city. You are a Kiev boy. Does it feel especially great to be here with your team?
Yeah, it feels great, but it would be even more like if we advance to a playoff.
Do you think you got it in you?
Of course, like I wanted to do it in the first game. If we take first game versus Energy, I don't know. It's first game. We were all kind of shaky. I don't know, not that confident. And the second game, like you're already in gaming mode.
So tomorrow we're going to see a very confident Crush and Co, I'm sure. Congratulations. I'll let you go celebrate with your team, Crush. Thank you. For you guys at home, we have got one more game in the losers matchups. And yes, it's going to be another tough one because we've got Hellraisers versus Tai Lu. And yes, we want to know who you think is going to win. So have your say in Twitch chat right now. Let's head back to the desk.
Chat. Oh, hey guys. Yes, it's true. The Sharks have eaten the Sprouts, and I mean that because they don't eat algae usually. But in this case, they were eating that ass up. Let's talk a little bit about what was going on here. In fact, we'll start with you, Jacob. What just happened?
A lot of stuff was happening in that game. I felt it was, as we described it, very chaotic at certain times. I think both teams had an honor in this game. I think Sprout did fine trying to control the chaos Vega Squadron put on them. So kudos to them for pulling off a decent game. But once again, I think we laid it out fine in the beginning. Vega is the better team. They have the better chaos players. They have the better individual stars. I think we saw some of that, especially from JR and Chopper.
One of the strengths which I highlighted for Vega didn't actually come to fruition on their CT side. We thought the aggression, they were kind of very restricted in that aggression.
They tried a little bit, I felt, but it didn't really succeed, right?
They would push and they would take mid control and they would, posture to be aggressive, but they would let Sprout come to them. Yeah. And I thought they would just be pushing a little bit more chaotically, a little bit more sporadically, and just taking duels at their own will and whim. But when they did overextend in middle and they got picked off, those were the rounds that Sprout were actually able to capitalize. They were getting clean duels, clean, one for none, not trades, but one for none just man advantages. And I thought that was huge in the success of Sprout in that first half. When Vega just sat back and they held the bomb sites, that's when Sprout found themselves having a much more difficult time.
And the cool part is, too, we've been highlighting opening kills throughout our segments here this morning. And for this matchup, we saw a pretty even bout there when it came to opening frags. Of course, the scoreline might not actually show that too much in a 16-12, but in this case, it was 14-14 in terms of first kills.
Yeah, and both teams had great honor in it, right? They were both playing their own game and trying to set the tone and set the pace for the game. And it was a closer game, I felt, than the score may suggest. It was 16-12. It could have been a 15-15. We could have gone the entire way right here. But Vega Squadron just in the end showed that they were the better team, and they were having the individuals that stepped up in the right decisions. Chopper again, once again on the CT side, was very impactful, I felt, with the M4, and he just had a great game overall.
Yeah, I was mainly, I suppose, impressed with Faven, being a guy that I haven't really seen play a lot before, especially at a level like this, not really having too many issues getting the numbers on the board. I thought that maybe if Vega want to go for this more sporadic playstyle that we see, especially on their CT side, maybe either go more aggressive or do like more all-ins, because they know it can work, but here they tried to play more of a balanced style of CS. And look, I'm not saying that they shouldn't try and learn that, they shouldn't try and get more well-rounded, just saying that's not one of the things which they're necessarily known for. And in a game where I look at them as the better team, I think that they should have just gone with, the full disrespect mode, because there are individuals are, at least pound for pound across the board, probably better.
I definitely agree. It's one of those scenarios where if you are Vega Squadron, obviously you want to involve yourself. You want to be more than just a one-dimensional team. You want to be able to both sit back and be the aggressive team. And obviously, if you can learn to master both, you get a long way. Yeah. But in this scenario, it's not a team that is mature enough to do that yet. I feel it's bang on what you're good on right now. That is the aggressive, that is the chaos, and then try to implement the other stuff slowly but surely. But maybe not in a tournament like this where you really want to do good in front of your home crowd. After a major where you did well as well, this is a time to shine for these guys. So just do what you're good at, and then wait with the rest of the stuff to a player break or something like that when you have time to implement it.
We've said it before, and this isn't a tournament where we see the likes of Astralis or a Liquid or some of these upper echelon teams. So this is basically a proving ground for teams such as Sprout or Vega Squadron.
So like a team like Vega, it's to see if they can continue form that we see out of them twice a year. For a team like Sprout, this is the baby steps into becoming a more well-known team. I already mentioned that they are the champions of the ESL Meisterschaft. So within their own region of Germany, they are the top dog. You're not considering big in that situation because they weren't playing in that tournament. They've got bigger fish to fry. They're actually in the Pro League. So bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, you had something there?
About sharks. But I suppose that I want to see more from Vega this tournament. They are going to be a staple at the next major. We will be seeing them again. So I want to see them here have an impact and at least make it to the playoffs.
Making it to the playoffs. There's still a long path to that point, at least. Let's get some closing thoughts from you guys before we move on to our next match. Perhaps, what can we hope to see from Sprout moving forward?
I think they're cutting it a little bit close, right? Yesterday, losing 16-14 to Mouse Sports. That's a decent result. Obviously, having a super well CT start on train. And today, again, they had a great honor in this game. It's sad for them they can't pull it off. They can't win the game. But I feel that going into a 0-2 matchup tomorrow, they should be one of the teams looking to win that one because they're actually playing well.
Yeah, I think that there is an opportunity that the teams that they currently have to face will be either big, complexity, or the loser of the Hellraisers title game, which we have coming up next, Tress. But before we get there, we do need to talk about CS.money.
Yes, we do indeed. You're now able to pick any of cells containing skins and actually determine what you win according to their website. That's right, CS.money, where you can get some more money for your skins, I think is that fair to say?
I'm not sure. I haven't been to the website.
Yeah, me neither, to be honest.
So,
but you know what we can do is move along ever so swiftly. Again, thank you to CS Money for making this all possible. In fact, though, it's time to move forward. We have seen the Sharks fall and I guess eat that grass as it might lay there on the side of Sprout, but now we're going to be seeing if hell can rise above Tyloo. Is China #1? Only time will tell. We'll be right back after this break, so be here with us.
Loot Bet. With Hellcase multi-cases, you are no longer restricted by random case opening mechanisms. Now, you are able to pick any of the cells containing skins and actually determine what you win. Use the promo code and dive right in.
I'm a soldier, I'm a fighter. Gonna take it all. Watch me crush it like a wrecking ball.